You might not want to hear this, but the truth doesn't care about your feelings. Weakness hides in plain sight, and most people never address it because it's uncomfortable to face. But if you don't confront it, it'll own you. It'll keep you stuck, spinning your wheels, living a life far beneath your potential. These traits are the silent killers of greatness, and if you don't fix them, you'll never break free from being average. Let's get real about what's holding you back. Weak trait number 1, avoiding hard conversations. Weak people avoid confrontation like it's the plague. They bite their tongue when they should speak up. They let others walk all over them because they're too scared to ruffle feathers. But avoiding hard conversations doesn't keep the peace. It breeds resentment. It erodes your self-respect. Strong people address the issues head-on. They don't shy away from conflict because they know growth lives on the other side of discomfort. If you're avoiding hard conversations, you're playing small, and it's costing you more than you realize. Weak trait number 2, needing constant validation. Weak people crave approval. They live for the pat on the back, the likes on social media, the external validation that says you're doing great. But here's the harsh truth. If you need others to validate you, you'll never stand on your own 2 feet. True strength comes from within. It's about knowing your worth without anyone else's approval. The moment you stop seeking validation is the moment you start owning your life. Weak trait number 3, excuse making. Weak people are masters of excuses. I'm too tired. I don't have time. It's not my fault. Every time they fail, they find someone or something to blame. Excuses are just lies you tell yourself to avoid responsibility. Strong people don't make excuses. They find solutions. They own their mistakes and learn from them. If you're still making excuses, you're sabotaging your own success. Drop the excuses and take accountability. Weak trait number 4, giving up too easily. Weak people quit the moment things get hard. They throw in the towel when they face resistance because they don't want to endure discomfort. But success doesn't come to quitters. It comes to those who push through, who grind it out, even when everything in them wants to stop. If you're giving up too easily, you're selling yourself short. Pain is temporary. Quitting is forever. Weak trait number 5, being afraid to take risks. Weak people cling to safety. They stay in their comfort zone because it's familiar, even if it's suffocating. But the comfort zone is a trap. It's where dreams go to die. Strength comes from stepping into the unknown, from risking failure, rejection, and criticism. If you're not willing to take risks, you'll never grow. Stop playing it safe. Take the leap. Weak trait number 6, resisting change. Weak people fear change. They cling to the way things have always been because it feels secure. But life is change. Growth is change. If you're resisting it, you're fighting a losing battle. Strong people adapt. They embrace change because they know it's the only way forward. If you're stuck in your old ways, you're holding yourself back. Let go and evolve. Weak trait number 7, living for short-term comfort. Weak people chase instant gratification. They want the quick fix, the easy way out, the path of least resistance. But short-term comfort leads to long-term regret. True strength comes from delaying gratification, from choosing the hard path because you know it leads to something greater. If you're living for the moment, you're sacrificing your future. Start thinking long-term. Here's the brutal truth. These traits are not permanent. Weakness isn't who you are. It's a choice you make every day. And just like you choose weakness, you can choose strength. You can choose to confront your flaws, to face your fears, and to become the person you were meant to be. But it starts with owning your truth. It starts with admitting where you're falling short and deciding to do something about it. Stop avoiding the hard conversations. Stop needing constant validation. Stop making excuses. Stop giving up too easily. Stop being afraid to take risks. Stop resisting change. Stop living for short-term comfort. Every one of these traits is holding you back, but every one of them can be fixed. The only question is, will you do it? Will you step up, face the hard truths, and make the changes? Or will you keep living small, blaming others, and staying stuck in mediocrity? The choice is yours. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to do the work for you. It's on you to fix these things and step into your power. Stop being weak. Weakness is a silent killer, but most people are too blind to see it or too afraid to admit it. They walk around convincing themselves that they're doing just fine, that life is good enough. But deep down, they know they're stuck. They know they're capable of more, but instead of stepping up, they let these weak traits run their lives. They settle, they avoid, they rationalize, and they die slowly inside. If you don't call these things out, if you don't confront the weakness inside you, it will consume you. It will rob you of your potential, your happiness, and your future. Avoiding hard conversations doesn't just make you weak, it makes you irrelevant. If you can't stand up for yourself, if you can't say what needs to be said, people will stop respecting you. They'll walk all over you because they know you won't fight back. Life will chew you up and spit you out. Hard conversations are where growth happens. They're where you learn to assert yourself, to communicate, to resolve problems. Stop hiding from them. Speak up, even if your voice shakes. The alternative is silence, and silence kills progress. If you're living for validation, you're not living for yourself. You're living for the opinions of others, and that's the fastest way to lose your soul. Every compliment, every pat on the back feels good in the moment, but it's empty. It's meaningless. The respect you're chasing will never come if you're desperate for it. Real respect, real validation comes when you stop needing it. When you can stand alone, unapologetic, and confident in who you are, that's when people take notice. Stop begging for approval. Earn it by becoming someone who doesn't need it. Excuses are the comfort blanket of the weak. They make you feel better about your failures, but they also keep you from fixing them. Every excuse you make is a brick in the wall between you and success. I don't have time is an excuse. I'm too tired is an excuse. I don't know how is an excuse. You know what strong people do? They find the time. They push through the exhaustion. They figure it out. Excuses are nothing but lies wrapped in comfort. If you're serious about changing your life, the first thing you need to do is burn your excuse book. Giving up when things get hard is the ultimate weakness. Life is going to test you. It's going to throw obstacles in your path, challenge your resolve, and push you to your breaking point. And you have two choices. You can break, or you can break through. Weak people break. They quit. They convince themselves it wasn't meant to be. Strong people keep going. They understand that the pain is temporary, but the results last forever. Every time you give up, you're training yourself to be weaker. Every time you push through, you're building strength. Stop quitting. Start finishing. Fear of risk is the fear of living. If you're afraid to take risks, you're not alive. You're just existing. You're trapped in a bubble of safety, but safety doesn't build anything. It doesn't challenge you, and it certainly doesn't reward you. Success is on the other side of risk. It's on the other side of discomfort, failure, and fear. If you're playing it safe, you're playing it small. Stop waiting for guarantees. Stop hoping for certainty. Take the risk, and if you fail, get back up and try again. The biggest risk is staying where you are. Change is inevitable, but resisting it is a choice, and it's a weak one. Life is always evolving, always moving forward. If you're stuck in the past, if you're clinging to the way things have always been, you're getting left behind. Change is uncomfortable. It's scary. But it's also where growth happens. Strong people embrace change. They adapt, they learn, and they grow. Weak people fight it, and in doing so, they fight their own progress. Stop resisting. Start transforming. Short-term comfort is the enemy of greatness. Every time you choose what feels good now over what's best for your future, you're digging your own grave. Netflix over studying, sleeping in over hitting the gym, junk food over discipline. These choices feel harmless in the moment, but they add up. Weak people live for the moment. Strong people sacrifice now so they can reap the rewards later. Comfort is a trap. Pain is the path. Choose wisely. Here's the thing about weakness. It doesn't go away on its own. It grows. Every time you avoid that hard conversation, every time you seek validation, every time you make an excuse or give up or play it safe, you're feeding the weakness. You're letting it take over. The only way to kill it is to confront it, to starve it, to make the hard choices that build strength instead of feeding weakness. Stop avoiding. Stop seeking approval. Stop making excuses. Stop quitting. Stop fearing risk. Stop resisting change. Stop choosing comfort. Weakness isn't your identity. It's a habit. And habits can be broken, but only if